Okay, I put it off for, you know, how many days? 11 days. We have to go along this eastern path a little bit further. Let's try and find the Enchantress and see what we can do. Maybe try and close the loop out. The neglected path barely finds any space among all the hills, trees and streams. There's a deer on the ground, lying in a red puddle, surrounded by a small pack of creatures which notice your presence quickly. There's about 8 of them, with thick furs in shades of brown, grey and black, and hairless faces with small eyes and large mouths, currently stained by the blood of their prey. Some of them move on all fours, while others comfortably stand on 2 feet. They are 2 to 3 heads shorter than you, but it's your mount which truly towers over them. And you see how a couple of beasts take a few steps back, grunting and glancing at one another. The one with a grey fur shouts and the others move towards the rocks and sticks, which are piled on the road. They hold them awkwardly and some struggle to maintain a straight posture, leaning on their new weapons for support. Then almost all of them spread to your left and right, blending with the shrubs loudly. Only 2 of the apes are still standing. I'm not prepared to face a pack of goblins. I turn around. I grab my axe and hold the reins tightly. Oh, I hate this. Oh, God, it's giving me a warning. But I can't make... I can't make the other thing. Oh, God, does it have the recipes in here? It doesn't, I think. Because I need to be able to get the basalt rock powdered at the top of the mountain, and I can't get that without getting into whatchamacallit. To get into whatchamacallit, I need magic items, which I could use. Maybe I should do it that way around. But I think I need cursed soil as well. I don't know where that's from. Pray for me. I grab my axe and hold the reins tightly. Shadowing tries to turn around, but loyally follows your directions. Right, we don't have a crossbow. I charge at the goblins in the middle of the road. I scream at the pack, shaking my weapon and trying to scare them away. I throw some food, maybe they'll leave me alone. I look behind me, just to be sure they're not already there. I make a few threatening swings, focusing my attention on the beasts that entered the forest. I dismount and prepare for combat. Absolutely not. We are going to charge them down, I think. Do I have any info on gobbos? The furry critters can move on 2 legs or on all 4s, and they resemble apes. Apparently they're smart. Or smart to some degree. Some combat nous. Just charge at them. Your mount speeds up, though it doesn't have enough space to enter a gallop. You repair your weapon, but while you feel somewhat comfortable with a blade when on foot, fighting from a saddle is completely unfamiliar to you. The younger goblin attempts to stop your horse, but the strike it receives sends it into the nearby bush, screaming in pain. The grey one, however, managed to grab your boot and is now trying to keep up with your speed, making one long leap after another. The first strong swing of your axe wasn't able to reach the target. A spear would do better in this scenario. We don't have a potion that can help me. Just ride faster. Get away from the rest of them. You put your entire trust into your horse, trying to endure the pain in your ankle and focusing on the reins. Shadowing does its best, and after your encouragement, it jumps, making the goblin lose its balance and roll over the road. Your leg hurts a bit, but it's free and the road is clear. We ride as fast as we can. Holy moly. A few more moments you hear angry shouts and screeches, but soon after that, it's again only you and your mount. Time to see what we're going to find down the road. Shadowmane, well done. The fallen tree on the eastern path. A round pine tree blocks the road for a wayfarer. For a wayfarer, walking over the thin branch at the top is not much of an issue. Even Shadowmane, led on a rope, could walk around the stump. But a large wagon couldn't move onwards in one piece. At least not without detaching the mules, unpacking all the wares and moving everything by hand. Cutting a tree into pieces would take hours, even with proper tools, and you can't hope to move with just the muscles that you and your mount has to offer. Do not go near the river. I want to look around. What do you want to investigate? I want to look at the stump. You don't find any marks of maws or paws. The top is hip high and unnaturally smooth. You could comfortably sit down on it, so someone has cut this down. The wagon. The planks are still firm and there's no mustiness in the air, but the vehicle needs just a push to fall to pieces, like a child's toy with nothing to keep the parts together. There are ways to construct a wagon with just wood, leather and fibre, but you find the marks of hinges, braces, nails and clamps, which are now all gone. The wheels are missing their steel rims. You find only one linen bag, empty and moist. You can't estimate how deep the tracks are. The ground was hard, so the cart's weight wasn't a significant factor. By the way, where am I? Okay, I'm over here now. So I'm going to guess that someone felled this tree to stop the wagon and they've just robbed all the valuable parts off the wagon. Let me look at the tracks. In the trampled grass, you find two sets of tracks to follow. There are no hoof prints. The first set is near the destroyed wagon. The wayfarers suddenly stopped. You can see where they made a sharp turn. The second trail is close to the tree stump. Most of the marks were left by flat, cheap boots, not suitable for long walks. But someone was wearing hard, wide heels, distorting the ground. Both trails avoid the eastern wilderness. They stick to the main road and lead you north. They could have belonged to 24 people, maybe more. You follow them for a bit, but lose them once there's no mud and tree needles to find. Wait, was this the original... camp of the soldiers? Was this where they got stopped? And weren't they attacked by bandits? I don't remember now. Let's look in the surrounding areas. Oh, I don't want to walk deeper into the wilderness. I walked deep into the wilderness searching through the shrubs and trees. You don't find any side paths nor the remains of a camp or a hamlet. The first game trail you find has been used exclusively at animals. Taking a look at the tracks. Okay, so I can just re-look at something. How about the river? It would only take 2 steps to disappear into the deep water. The rocky bank smells fresh and is filled with the sound of frogs. Oh, I forgot about my fish traps again. Insects and birds. It's not a good spot to quench your thirst. The beds of long kelp, pulled by the flow of the river, are crowded with fish and four-legged creatures that you don't even recognise. You keep an eye on the land. There's no carcass in sight and no signs of shells that would be left nearby. What about the western hill? The rocky wall isn't much of a challenge. The top of the hill is covered with short grass and sparse trees. You notice a couple of bushes with a good view of the road. Just next to the remains of a campfire. Charred pieces of wood, ash, bird bones, trampled grass and broken earthenware bottle. You follow the deepest tracks leading to the edge of the soft earth. Someone jumped down, or at least stopped stepping on the grass. How about the bushes? I found an arrow. There are no berries left, only broken twigs, fallen leaves, and the trampled grass. You notice a pointy arrow made by a human hand, with a head made of horn and black-orange fletching. These feathers originally belonged to one of the local pheasants. You see no arrow marks around and not even on the wagon. How about the tree? The leaves are not completely dry, and when you break off some of the twigs, it still contains water. There are no signs of sickness that you can recognise, and the termites and other bugs are still sparse. Beneath the trunk, there's no blood, no abandoned limbs. And how about the road? The road here has already been overgrown, fading away, but it's in no worse shape than the other parts of the southeastern route. No alternate path is formed around the blockade. I know what happened here. It was cut down to set an ambush, is what I'm going to say. Why was the wagon abandoned? The owners had no time to move it, so they left it behind. It was attacked by highwaymen. So we didn't see any arrows or bloodshed. So I think the owners had no chance to move it, so they left it behind. What was originally transported on the wagon? Oh, maybe passengers. Because there was a lot of footprints. What happened to the owners of the wagons? They were taken north, they were killed on the spot, they dissipated into the wilderness, they turned back. I think they went into the wilderness. You think the tree was cut down to set up an ambush. The car which transported human passengers was left behind by the owners, who had no time to move it. Its owners had disappeared into the wilderness, I am sure. While you can't be sure of what really happened here, you don't think there's much left for you to find. Let's hope you haven't missed anything. Oh, God. And I can... Oh, God. Oh, you can change all the answers? Okay, I'm going to stick to what I said. And what was it? They went into the wilderness because we saw stuff on the hill. Right. Then let's go to the north. As long as you ride uphill, the forest is sparse. Soon after, the trees' roots tear the path apart. The road is coated with branches, acorns, leaves, and chestnuts, and some seedlings have already broken through the pitted surface of the road. If left undisturbed for another year or two, the forest will reclaim this place. Finally, you ride upward again. The plants are getting smaller, the road more rocky. I sigh with relief. Right. While the hills are full of life, you don't hear anything coming from the watchtower. Its upper level lacks a wooden platform from which the guards could fire their crossbows or drop stones on the opponents below. So this place was not meant to be used in combat, but rather as a shelter from claws and fangs. Okay, so I want to go right from the watchtower, I believe, from one of my notes telling me. Such structures can be found in especially untamed parts of the Dragonwoods, used occasionally by travellers or by patrolling squads. Since the end of the war, the cities can't find enough people and dragon bones to keep them in good shape. You see no footprints, no lights, no fresh trash, or a latrine. The birds are preening their feathers on top of the tower, while the branches of nearby trees are swaying in the fierce cold wind. I take a look at the signpost. The wooden letters are damaged by decades of rains, frosts, borers, claws, and mosses. You scratch off some of the moss. The plank on the top points towards the watchtower, where the letters spell south, and away from it, with an additionally carved north. The one beneath it points east, and this time you see a tidily written word, painted on the word in blue. Enchanting. In Hovleven, enchanters are artisans specialised in filling ordinary items with magical pneuma, and sure enough, the arrow here looks more like a magic wand. The bottom plank pointing west has a picture of a tall tower on it, surrounded by little houses. The carving spells monastery, but the wood is covered in red paint, suggesting danger. Okay, hang on a minute. Oh my god, I can go in all directions. The one beneath it points east, and this time you see a tidily written word. So to the east... Ah, that way. Good, that's the way I was going to go. Maybe there's something interesting amongst the spruce trees. I examine the campfire spot at the fence. You see a shattered bowl, the remains of a meal from many years ago. However, the firewood and the lonely stool are not too old. You don't doubt that the watchtower seems less threatening to wayfarers and the wilderness around it, even when it's locked. Is there anything in... I don't want to go inside, though. I approach the entrance. You take a look at Shadowmane. If necessary, it could bow its head and walk inside. This place should be a decent shelter for both of you. The planks are strong, heavy, well protected from the rain and wind, and when you knock, they seem to be thick. While the door shakes at your push, it won't open. Defensive structures usually have a locking bar on the inner side, but you'll see a large keyhole. You walk around the tower, making sure there are no open windows or other entrances. It doesn't like you can get in without destroying the door, and doing so is going to make a potential entryway for wild creatures. Oh god, don't poke me through the keyhole. I look through the keyhole. You need Alan to take a peek. There's nothing in the hall, but the room is dark, with tiny bits of light passing through the crevices of the windows. You see the shapes of wooden furniture like tables, casks, and a ladder. But the only movement you notice belongs to the dust dancing in sunbeams. We're not breaking the door down. Return. Let's look at the gate. Setting up a firm wall in place like this is a bit unusual. It goes on for no more than 40 feet until it connects with a natural rock face. Such a structure could be found near the city, acting as a checkpoint, or wish to stop any travellers to search through their belongings or request a thing. But in the middle of nowhere? Deer and other animals used to be running here with no hindrance. Must have been more annoyed. A risky investment. You touched a gate made of high-quality wood, previously soaked in oil, now mostly wiped off. It was left open and you don't see any wooden bar that would be used to lock it. You tried to move the cold planks, buried in dried-out mud, but with no luck. It would require some wearing digging. Look at the spruce trees. Oh, it must be a human-made copse. I thought it said corpse for a second. We're fine. Crisis averted. Only the smallest of spruces are out of order, born of wild seeds. The largest trees are as tall as the tower itself, which surely doesn't help those who were meant to observe their surroundings. There are also some stumps, most of which used to belong to young saplings. These trees were likely meant to be sold to carpenters and coopers, but they were left alone many years ago. In the copse you find wild fennel and lettuce thriving in shadows, and there are pears and berries growing in the nearby trees and shrubs. Spend an hour foraging, please. Brilliant, we have some wild plants. Shadowmen graze on the fence. Oh, sorry, grazes at the fence? Oh, I get it, sorry. I'm not grazing on the fence, just grazing, at it. I guess taking a little bit of, shelter. Shadowmen grazes at the fence, while you cross the short meadows, also opening a kind of mighty fine mead, seeking edible leaves of fennel, sorrel, and lettuce that hide in the shadows of the spruce trees, forcing you to get on your knees and push the branches away. After some time, with needles in your hood and sleeves, you carry the vegetables to the gate, washing them with your water skin, and spreading them on a blanket, allowing them to dry up. As you pick the very few remaining pears and berries, you notice a wide tree hollow. You take a look inside and find a stash of acorns and chestnuts, but also hazelnuts and walnuts. Squirrels will need them more. I take the fruits back to my bundles. Or sweet, more food for me. Squirrels, I'm sorry, it's more food for me. You pick out enough of the stomach-friendly nuts to satiate a day-long hunger of even a portly human. Right, we're going. Go east to find the enchantress. Go east, 'cause going to west kills me. Go east. I need some fancy rocks. Go east. Please give me your fancy rocks. The first part of the trail is narrow and overgrown. The steep crag in the south divides the lush forest in half. You barely recognise any of the shapes of the entanglement of greys, browns and greens. The northern landscape, while similarly impenetrable, is the exact opposite. The meadow turns into barren hills and mountains, barely covered by grass and bushes. Maybe the riding ibexes of the clanspeople from the growing mountains would get through such a barrier. There are no clans here. Point to this icon to display an entire area at once. Oh, I see. Oh, cool. Travel to the 4 major crossroads that connect the peninsula. Okay, I got an achieve for that, by the way, when I hit the crossroad before. I was wondering what it was for. The road leads you downhill to the edge of a lake. The clearing around the dwellings is quiet, with no crickets, flies, or even toads. The grass is not even knee-high. There are no signs of a wharf or boats. The wall wasn't coated and has already been bitten by winds and rains. I look for an entrance. Right next to the gate, a gargoyle, or stone look-alike, kneels on the slab. It's dark purple, almost black, with yellow, pointy teeth, though its half-open mouth has no tongue. And the creature doesn't move an inch. The eyes have been replaced by crystals, red like currant juice. Do not touch the gargoyle. I knock on the gate. Finding no knocker, use your fist. There's no response. Anyone home? Your voice is welcomed by the screeching of a dozen of avian throats. They take off from behind the wall, heading toward the lake. After a few breaths, the eyes of the gargoyle grow brighter. What's it with all the ape shouts? You lost? The words are coming from the monster's mouth, though it remains still. Stand in front of me. I want to see your mug. The drawling voice belongs to a woman, but is lined with an unusual creaking. I step closer. The eyes don't rotate nor blink, So who are ye? I'll be supportive and cordial. I'm Andalono, the new Roadwarden. I hope you're having a great day. During the long pause, the glow of the gargoyle's eye subsides. Once they light up again, the voices are much softer. Well, good to see a new warden. You come to pick up some stuff? You're many days too early. Or do you even know who I am? But of course I know who you are. What do you want to call her? Archive? Journal? Humans? Quests? I know who you are. You are... You're the Enchantress. I had your name. It's like Eudycia. God damn it, I need a search function. Will an Enchantress do? You for real? Don't you know my name? Oh my god. Eudycia. Right, who asked me about this? Did I write this down? Why did I not write this down? Of all the things I've written down, like Machop. Oh, that's a different note. The Hag Hills. I just put Enchantress. Asterion. Virus. Quintus. Okay, it has to be in the quest somewhere. Okay, we want to become rich, I know that. No. No. Alright, this is cheating. I'm pretty certain it's Eudycia. I'm gonna Google it. Because I don't have to spell it. It's E-U-D. And it's like A-C-Y-A or something. Okay. Unfortunately, that's not finding anything. Eudycia. Eudycia? Oh, it's not got a Y in it. I think I found it. Eudocia. Docia. Short pause. You're disturbing my work. It's the middle of the day. I need to stay focused. You hear her deep, annoyed breath. For a warden, I'll make this one exception, but next time, come in the early morning, or soon before the night. Wait, why are you here? Why ye are? Wait, where ye are? Okay, I understand now. We're opening the gate. The monster's eyes darken again. Soon after, you hear the heavy steps and the earth shakes. Something lifts the beam, blocking the gate. You realise that your hand is already on the haft of your axe. I'm safe, I try to relax. The gate opens violently, and rebounds with a loud thud, almost closing again. The creature in front of you is made of floating rocks that appear to be connected, but it's just an illusion. They could twist and bend in every direction. The eyeless sentinel faces you blankly. You've seen other golems in Hovleven, endlessly helping with bothersome tasks, but you've no idea what makes them move. It lowers its slab-like hands and steps aside, making way for you. Its head rotates following your steps, but other than that, it's as motionless as a statue. I enter the yard. The house in front of you is a huge entrance, just large enough for a golem. The building is whitewashed, but the lime is aged and damaged. The tools are spread around in no particular order. The rocks resting on top of the shed resemble the golems. The garden patch is covered with herbs and vegetables and neglected. It's quiet here. I approach the sitting golem. It seems dead, inactive, as city folk would call it, but the pneuma still makes its chunks float less than an inch away from one another. It doesn't react to your presence. Unlike the previous golem, this one bears engraved signs on its larger rocks. Their meaning is unclear to you and you can't tell if they're decorative or carriers of a spell. A leaf of the door opens. We have knowledge here. I know these letters. The signs represent regular words used in the Wright's tablets. Their shapes are very old, angular, and not adjusted to the softness of a quill. The words read as follows: hunt, prey, chase, meet, beast, run, bring, wait, and disguise. The golem's owner is standing behind you. I turn toward them. The woman is tall and stands upright, with her arms crossed and legs apart. She's more than 30, with a face touched by lack of sleep. She gives you a long look, observing your blade, hands, boots, forehead, everything but your eyes. I greet ye. Without the distortion caused by the gargoyle, her strong voice isn't as disquieting. No surprise that it caught your eye, but don't disturb it. It's very much awoken and will defend itself. Or me if it comes to it. I give her a better look. She's wearing a long, ragged robe covered in stains. It used to be blue but now is unevenly pale. She's barefoot with skin covered with dust and dirt. Her dark hair was recently washed, but it's untidily spread on her shoulders, back and chest. She wears no jewellery, belt or buckles. Let's be distanced here. Let's just hide her emotions. This is actually the first time I've considered being vulnerable. Actually, maybe I'll be vulnerable, just for a change of pace. But I think she'll see through the BS, so I think I'm just going to be distanced. Let's get to it. She nods and looks at your ear. You can't figure out the colour of her eyes. Green? Good. This place is not open to those who don't use the tongue of dragons and barter. And unlike those from creeks, idle talk puts me to sleep, or nightmares, rather. If you come here, I'd better get aught from it. From now, let's not invite the dragon. She walks past you and cocks her head forwards to the golem who let you in. It turns around and shuts the gate. I let you in this time, but it won't happen again. Not during my work. If you ever come here in the middle of the day, you'll stand outside, looking at the door like an ibex. We don't need more salutations, so she looks to the sky, her voice remaining broad. If you're here to make a deal, I'm ready to hear you, but don't test my patience. Photios has sent me to buy a spirit rock for his daughter. He hopes it will enhance Phoebe's pneuma. Oh, you don't want to try that. She grabs the end of her hair. It would boil her blood and rip her skin apart. Each shell is like a bottle for pneuma. It has its limits. You can train to contain more of it, like I've been doing for many than 20 years now. But there's no magical rock that's going to do it for you. But if you want, I can still sell it to you. Oh, so I could buy another one. Do you have anything interesting to sell? Well, I'm not a trader. I do the stuff people ask me about. And they're not for sale. She glances at the house and towards the pocket on her hips. There's but one tool I'm willing to part with for 10 bones, but it's for spellcasters only. She reaches out to you. On her open palm, you see a flat, small pebble. Bluish, but in no way unusual. You put it in your mouth and press it to your palate. No chewing, she smirks. If you're a sorcerer, it will restore your pneuma. I'll think about it. I found a barren field that may be affected by a curse. Do you have anything I could use to see if I'm right? Huh. Where is this barren field I found? Oh, there's actually quite a lot of stuff here. Okay. This could be some huge info for us. I found a barren field affected by a curse. Do you have anything that I could use to see if I'm right? A curse field? Where did you find this stuff? As you explain briefly, she observes your boots. I know the place, but... She steps away and approaches the garden patch by her house. She observes it for a moment, then kneels down, paying no attention to her robe, and reaches for a wooden spade. What she digs out looks like a tree sapling with 2 leaves that are as large as a hand and thin, elastic stalk. It's shorter than your head. Would you look at that, still green? Give me 2 dragons and I'll put it in a bag with soil. It should survive at least a couple of days. How does it work? She straightens up. Well, you plant it, of course. Wait for half an hour and you'll see. If it grows an inch, she frowns. Raises the plant to rise and grunts. Forget it. If it bursts into bloom, the soil is enchanted. If it withers, it's cursed. Says the same, no Numa. She lowers it again. Just be careful when you do. It loves fogs. But it's a plant that grows by magic. Yes, and it will cost 2 dragons. Why do I even have such a thing? There are many magic fields around. Where is this fucking cursed field? Where are you trying to get me to go back to? Where is this? I don't know where you're talking about. Are you talking about the White Marshes? Are you cursed? Are you cursed? 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 Sorry, fishies? Creepers block the way. Where the fuck is this place? Is it here? The Beholder place? I'm so confused right now. I'll think about it. If I don't know what it is, I'm not going to take it if it's going to, die on the way. So can I buy this off you now? The Eudosia sapling. I can buy it off you. Alright. Surely you filled some arrows with Numa before. Any ideas where this is from? I showed the one that I found near the fallen tree. Why are you tracing a murderer? She smirks, but then grabs the arrow and takes a quick look. Black and orange. I don't know much about wood, but I recognise these feathers. The people of Gale Rocks breed such pheasants. She gives it back if it's in the far north, close to the coast. A few hunters recently left creeks and haven't returned so far. Dahlia, Admon, and Vashkel, have you met them? Admon, he was here alright. Asked me about the lands east of the stone bridge in the north, but I couldn't help him much. Those lands are better left to... She pauses and waves it off. Do the bandits bother you? She puts her hand on the sides and straightens up, displaying her unusual height. Is this another sick game of hers? If so, tell her I'm not interested either in her head or her offers. You notice a sudden movement of a golem. Alright, she's not willing to talk about this. News of the West is a plague. She stands still. Come? Come again? While you describe the symptoms, she starts to fidget and finally interrupts you. Cut it! Have you heard aught from Eulalia and Aranius? They're about 50, 55. A mason and a sculptor. Her eyes are getting bad, he has a limp. I never even entered the gate. She rubs her arms above her elbows as if to warm herself up. If you ever ride there again, she meets your eyes. Ask around, please. I need to know. Well, can you help me get in, please? Oh my god. Could you fill an item mine with Numa? That's not how this works. She points at her golems. Her nails are short and clean and her hands are soft. I work all the time, but each item takes me days, sometimes a full season. The tribes bring me things to enchant in the early spring and collect them a year later. I've got to... She blinks a few times, not sure what to say. Her grey eyes widen. Imagine stuff. It takes great focus. You mentioned that you'll generously reward her, but she only shrugs. You don't plant, you don't build. I won't eat dragon bones. For now, do your warden duties and come by me at the end of autumn. Maybe I'll have time to get something done for you after the thaws. Alright, I'll think about it. How about Asterion? She raises her chin, challenging your look. I know not where he may be, but if he wanted to be found, he'd let us find him. She glances at the gate. Or else? God damn you. Why do you live so far away from any village? She looks around. No. No what? I'm not telling you bedtime stories. Or to hear about your sad life. Your own sad life, even. She lets out a long sigh, trying to limit her frustration. Back off. Have you seen the shortcut? Only once, she admits slowly. And it's not a good memory. Her brief tale is rather vague. She once had to use a golem to travel to the other side, seeking a remedy for a stomachache. The beasts were afraid of the noise they make. She points at the massive stone legs of the creations. But the monkeys in the far west were too dumb even for that. They kept throwing things at us, even poop. She caused us making a disgusted grimace. We couldn't reach them, or scare them away. You ask what happened next, but she crosses her arms. I was told it's better to ignore them. Let them get used to one sight. But my stomach was better already, so we just took the long way back. What can you tell me about enchanting? She looks at your hands and starts to twirl her hair. Not really. I don't know how I do the stuff I do. As a kid, I put humour into my toys. I made my earthen sparrow fly and my whistle gave a tune without being blown. I practiced for years, but by doing, not by understanding. Oh my god, she puts her hands on her hips and observes the clean nails. I can't teach stuff that's in my fingers or my eyes and my breath. It's just part of me. Alright, you're pretty tight-lipped so far, Enchantress. How about I'm looking for a job? Ooh. She stands still for a moment and cocks her head to the side. I've got some stuff that could use another hand. You up for some danger, if it comes to it? You nod and ask what sort of creature is bothering her. Nah, I meant riding and climbing. If you can do it without grabbing the axe of yours, fine. Now give me a moment. She opens one of the heavy doors to her house and you catch a glimpse of a messy bed and a floor covered with clothes. After a minute she shows up with a large sack filled with rods made of smooth, clean bronze. Here's the gist of it. I need you to get to 8 spots across the peninsula. High buildings, trees, mountainsides. I don't really travel much. She lets out a confident chuckle. So I can't hold your hand. I need one of them in white marshes in the wetlands far west of here. Other than that, you need to keep your eyes open. She takes one of the rods. Once you reach a good spot, place one of these as high as you can. I'll pay you in dragons, 2 for each one. But place at least 4 before you come see me. And get as many of them out there as possible. So far so good, but what are they for? Well, there's magic in them, as you can imagine. You weigh a rod in your hand. Even though it's more than 2 feet long, it's light, empty inside. You could bend it on your knee. The bag also contains a long hemp cord and a scrap of cloth. If I were to send my golems away, let's say a mile or 2 from here, they'd stop moving at all, waiting for me to show up. She approaches the nearest sentinel and touches its chest. They carry similar rods inside, so the plan is to give my orders better range, so to speak. I'm tired of depending on hirelings, especially since they no longer stop by. She leans against the golem with her arms crossed. Questions? How much time do I have? Oh, don't worry about that. She dusts off the golem's arm. Let's say, before the leaves turn yellow. And I can be sure that you have no plans to raid the villages with an army of unstoppable sentinels, right? Some of the locals may not be happy with putting bronze rods on their rooftops. She gives you a puzzled look. Wardens do have their ways to get on people's good sides, correct? Oh, I may be forced to pull some strings to get it done. 2 dragon bones won't be enough. You haggle for a bit and notice the moment of weakness. As you insist on even more, she starts to twirl her hair. Fine, 3 for each. It's over 20 in total, so show some decency and don't make me wait any longer than necessary. If you do all 8 rods, I may give you or else. Ah, we have a deal. If she creates an unstoppable army, then so be it. I'm okay with going out like that. Why do you ask me to place a rod in the white marshes specifically? Is it because of the undead? I know why. She scratches the ground with her foot, then points at a golem. I still need to do a bit of work with the sentinels, but I hope to offer 1 to them, maybe in the spring. It could replace 10, 20 humans. The villagers may not have much food right now, but I know how to be patient. So you're willing to make deals with necromancers? They have quite a bunch of awoken corpses, you know. And that's very pragmatic of you. They have lots of awoken corpses, do you know? She moves her hair behind her shoulder. All I can do is I hope they know when to stop. Okay. I guess I have some questions about your golems. She walks around the closest sentinel and observes it like a farmer would a donkey before a purchase. Isn't it clear what they are? Furniture that walks and works. They carry rocks and logs, hunts, well, kind of, And protect this place while I rest. What else is there to say? It's so loud when it walks, so monsters react to its presence. Is it for sale? How do you make one? Or do they talk? Or let's change the topic. Is it for sale? One day, or so I hope. She points at a golem's hand. One wrong order, it'll tear your head away, or kick over a house. It won't ever be safe, but the dead make for bad customers, and I won't be blamed for others' stupidity. Her further answers come in greater detail, but they're rather complex. From what you understand, she plans to invent a set of very specific commands that could be quickly learned and bind into a wand, binding it to the creature. I'm still not sure if it's the safest solution. If a wand was taken by a reaver, stuff could get ugly. How do you make them? I fill each rock with pneuma, bind them together, she pauses, then waves off. You won't build one right away. Like alchemists, enchanters have their own secrets, but I've got no way of sharing my talents with others. Let's change the topic. Actually, sorry, one last question. Do the monsters react to it? She lets out a chuckle. They flee from them as soon as they would from trolls. They don't stalk their prey or jump them from a bush, but when they don't move for long, beasts take them for rocks. It's not like they need to breathe, it just sits still, waiting for a roe deer to get close. The golem's eye suddenly gets brighter, it jumps forward and punches the air. It lands with the sound of thunder. That's why I need them to be so large, the enchantress explains. I can't give the muscles, the speed I give them is pure pneuma. Being firm and heavy helps. She disregards your mention of the wrath of the herds. True, I make more mess than most humans would, but that's one of the reasons why I stay away from the villages. Being all alone, I give the beasts time to get used to my walls, and my sentinels know to stay away from unicorns and pebblers. Do they talk? Eurycia still moves her lips, but her words are coming from the stone creature, which doesn't move an inch. No more than the gargoyle you've seen. The voice is deep, distorted by an echo. They don't need meat or bones and listen to my commands, but have no understanding of what's happening around them. To create a sentient creature, you need a human shell, and a whole lot of necromancy. The golem raises its hand and shows you its palms, and I'm not going to touch that. She then mentions that her creation isn't much of a messenger. It needs to remain close to her, just look at it. The golem covers its non-existent mouth. It has no eyes, snout, ears. Seeing the world through its head is like putting your eyeball in a rose bush. It takes pneuma, and the further away it is, the more exhausting it gets. Let's change the topic now. I don't really care about the gargoyle, it's just, it's whatever it's called, the home doorbell system, is that what it's called? Where you can see through it and, talk through it. What about the peninsula? Can you teach me more about it? I'm not selling gossip, nor am I buying it. I have my hut, my guards, and my lake. I'm an artisan, not an innkeep. If you need one, ride south to Pell to the north. The keeper is stiff like a broom, but offers a nice room. Her voice is dripping with annoyance. Or if you'd rather visit a cheerful place, ride north to Foggy Lake. Or was it Foggy's Lake? Whatever. Foggy's the keeper. At least she's not as boring as the other guy. We don't need to rest here. Honestly, we're going to set out on some more travelling, I think. I kind of want to go out to the north again and the secluded residence. I love this little stone golem guy. I kind of want to connect the path up, but I'm really scared that I'm just going to die. We do not go this way. This is the danger path. She did say just go north. And I do need to do the path to the east. You know what? Let's do it. Risk it for biscuits. With no trees or crags blocking the sun, the road is bright and inviting. The simple bridge is centuries old, bitten by time. It makes you think of a dolmen you saw south of here. The torrent here is deep and fast with plenty of fish. The boat is destroyed beyond repair, rotten, falling to pieces, with holes in the floor and on the sides, overgrown with fungi and mosses. The thick shrubs are covered with thorns. Small birds are jumping from one twig to another, pecking at the brown berries. Knowing from the herbaria that the fruits are safe, you eat a few bitter, sweet ones as well. Oh, I think I've read something about these fish. You see dozens of red and grey shells. As you walk by, they stay close, following your steps. According to the testimonies from the murder trial you've read about, they have long and sharp teeth, eat flesh, and could scrap your skull clean in a minute or so. I look around for an hour or so, maybe I can find something of use. After what feels like an eternity of searching around the boat, the banks and the shrubs, you sit down on the bridge and take a break. Then realise you haven't actually looked beneath it. You kneel on the grass and look into the darkness. Among the cobwebs and bugs, you spot an old piece of fabric pinned under a rock. You pull it out and find a rotting, torn pouch that contains a single dragon bone. You make sure you haven't missed the other ones in the dirt, where if they ever existed, they have rolled down and sunk for good. I throw the pouch away and stand up. Charlemagne peacefully chews on the grass, enjoying the sun on its back, ready to take a nap. Okay, Piranha River, let's not go in yet. This sounds like battle music again. The gentle road downhill, getting greener and less rocky the further north you get. Just in case your eyes turn toward a few drier parts of the meadow, and you instantly shout at Charlemagne to make haste. A pack of short-haired wolves, at least 20 members strong, is chasing after you. Their coats are a mixture of yellow, black, and white spots, as if someone threw mud and paint at them. They move toward the road with human-like speed, and you realise only some of them are running straight at you. They tried to cut my path. If it wasn't for your palfrey, the beast would have already caught up with you. Their trap was perfectly set up, not leaving you any path of escape. Your terrified mount is disciplined enough to stay on the beaten path, and even though one of the big-eared wolves almost sinks its teeth into your mount's thigh, you manage to squeeze between the hunters. For the next few minutes, you do your best to get further away, and while your gallop is indeed faster, the wolves easily shorten the distance by moving through the sparse forest. You ride past a wooden cabin placed in the clearing at the bottom of a rock face, but you can't stop while the chase is at your back. Maybe I have something of use here. Holy mother of God, I have nothing. You think about the sacks and bundles, but the pack won't wait for you to sort things out. The group gets larger the further you go, as even more of its members, previously hidden amongst the trees and grasses, now join the hunt, allowing their tired family members to slow down. You may be able to lose them after some time, but scaring or wounding some of them may force them to give up their prey sooner. We have no potions, I don't have the crossbow, and I don't have an axe with enough range. I have nothing to fight them off with. You focus on the road ahead, forcing your mount to speed up. Whenever a beast tries to catch it, after a few minutes you return to the foraging ground, but the pack doesn't give up on you yet. At least their numbers have stopped growing. You're already outside of their territory, and the handful of spotted colourful shells also seem tired, and are forced to stay on the beaten path. Without palfrey, I would be dead. You get out of the valley and follow another narrow path through the hills and trees, clearly shaped by humans, at least in part. The leaves and rocks start to blur into a vague memory, but after another few minutes the howls stop, and you slow down. You don't slow down just yet. Those were some stubborn wolves. The familiar path leads to a small statue standing next to a willow. Charlemagne is exhausted, but patient, more happy to survive than is angry at you for your wanderlust. At least you can hope the pack will move to a different place during the night. I better get out of the saddle and let it rest for a bit before I move forwards. Sorry, Charlemagne. Charlemagne, we've done it. I've gone round the map. Let's see if my traps are still here. Fish trap? It's still empty. God damn it! No. I don't want to enter the howlers. Let's go to the creeks now. I have some jobs while I'm up here. So we've done the Eastern Path thing. I've looked at everything. About the Eastern Path. I cleared the statue south of Foggy's place. That woman with a stick? Seeing your nods, he stops his work. What for? Haven't you heard about the Wanderer? It's a tutelary spirit that keeps travellers from harm. It increases the chances that animals will see her as a human shell and feel threatened by it. Well, you can admire her. You can turn it into rocks. I thought you may care. The road is prettier now. Road is prettier. It's the Wanderer. The carpenter's eyes are filled with doubt, but he finally shrugs. Well, it won't hurt us to have a pretty statue on the good side. He asks one of his kids from the square to bring our guest some dried meat and nuts. Seeing your look, he pats his stomach. What? I'm not paying for that. My patience has its limits, you know. Yeah, my patience has its limits. Well, that's a start. Keep it up. I've encountered a fallen tree in the south. You described its exact location. I guess it was unavoidable for this to happen at one point or another. Too bad it's so far away from here. He stops his work and turns towards you. So, would you like us to help with that, friend? You ask him what he proposes and he describes what he calls a day of honest work. Just come to me someday in the early hours. I still need to discuss this with the tribe, but I'll ask the stronger folks to travel with you to the tree. They'll agree if they feel like the roads can be trusted. Split it into blocks, get it onto wagons, bring it here, it won't go to waste, and the road will be cleaned. When you mention it's going to take an entire day, he agrees, and you'll get 5 dragon bones for it. Just come to me when you're healthy, and only if you already know what's on the route from here to that point. We'll put a lot of trust into your guidance and protection, Andalona. So you want me to know the entire route, make sure it's safe enough for your tribe to follow it, and come here in the morning, but only if I can handle the journey. Quite a list, but fine, we'll see. I'm not going to waste an entire day on a dangerous journey just to see how your tribe beats a trunk. You can do that on your own once the spring comes and the road gets safer. Alright, I'll try and protect the path. He thinks about your words and reaches for his case. You're right, that's a lot. I can't help you much, but at least you deserve 1 bone right away, for bringing me the message. Maybe buy some rations for it, or a good rest. Actually, we also need 1 day to prepare ourselves. Alright, thanks. Is that all from going through that eastern path? That's all I can do? Oh, I have to look inside the ruined shelter. Cock. Ooh, I'd like to place this rod somewhere. He grabs the rod and looks at it with caution. I wouldn't call her a friend exactly. You'd do better selling this. Swinging it left and right like a club, he tells you to wait. It can't be just my decision. I'm going to ask the others, at least a few of them. You rest at a table and observe how the man approaches various souls and exchanges a few words with them. It takes him so long that you manage to get bored enough to indulge a little girl who'd like to pet Shadowmane. The man returns and gives you the rod back. Well, my tribe is far from convinced. He wipes the sweat off his forehead. We'd rather stay away from it. Nothing is simple in these parts, is it? I've gone down the eastern path. I've been chased by wolves, chased by monkeys, goblins, all for you. A Saurian, and you've given me 1 dragon bone so far. Ella, I need to know what happened to Asterion. He springs up, still holding his tools and demonstrating his threatening physique, and raises his voice. I am serious. I don't know. He looks behind him and even takes a step back, but with every few gestures his breath gets a bit slower. He said there's something of great value hidden in the wilderness, Roadwarden. A treasure, I think. And that treasure would change the north. He rubs his forearms. But there's still tension in his shell. He needed help we couldn't give him, and told us to prepare for Glaucia and her bandits to come for supplies. He paid for them up front, but she never came, neither did he. When he sits down again, he doesn't look at you. I never saw him like that before. He was tired and worried, friend. His words lacked confidence. It may very well be something that caught him, but we weren't a part of this. Now please let me be. Why couldn't you not just tell me that before? You scumbag. I have absolutely nothing about, the hunters. What do you have? A roast chicken. I don't need another fish trap. Farewell. How long before dusk? 3 hours. Can I get to... I can get to Gale Rocks in time. Can I rest here? I can't, can I? They won't let you... No, they will let me rest. Sweet. Let's go to Gale Rocks again. The fishers have returned to the village, but the work is still far from being over. You see lights and smoke coming from the eastern part of the village, where the fish are being gutted and prepared for smoking. The guards instruct you to not disturb anyone after dusk, and tell you that you should visit Fulvia, who may have a room to spare. Some of the locals slow down to observe you, and when you meet their eyes, you find a few smiles. You go to... I need to speak to Photius. About the Spirit Rock. Prepare the dragon bones, I have one with you. What does your daughter think about all of this? What does your daughter think about all of this? Oh, he says you've got it. What does she think? He looks at you as if you're mad, then glances at the nearby fishers. She'd be heartbroken to realize she's spellless. I won't tell her unless I have no other way. She's merely a child. I'm doing what's best for her. What can you tell me about the Enchantress? I've only seen her a few times when I was a teenager. Though she was also young, I suppose. Tall, not as tall as I am, he smiles briefly. With cold eyes for the few days she was around. She kept to herself. People say she's a witch, and a mad one at that. It sounds like an unusual healing end. Are you sure you want to try this? I've asked our sorcerers about what they felt they would when they used the stones. Oh my god. I've asked our sorcerers about what they felt when they used the stones. Their pneuma got stronger than on most days, and nothing bad happened to them. We risk nothing outsider, he says, with growing irritation, and stops himself from scratching the scars on his neck. Have you asked any herbalist though, maybe a priest or another enchanter? Have you heard about the previous Roadwarden, Asterion? You nod. In spring, I sent him to one of the greatest mages in the peninsula, some druid, I think. An old prick told me there was nothing he could do. You hear that? And I had paid the messenger to learn this. He squeezes his cloak even tighter to his side. We have no herbalist here, but since the spirit rocks are safe, I'd rather spend my last coins for such a chance than to try nothing and regret it. I think what you're asking may be risky. Why would it be? No one has ever been hurt from the previous stones. We have knowledge. Eudocia herself told me the stone will likely kill any shell that can't hold the stone's pneuma. His face turns pale. She said this? After he clears his throat, he squeezes the monstrous beak on his chest, and his courage returns. Then you've spoken with her, and you know she's crazy. Instead of chatting with people, just bring me what I'm paying you for. Right, I'm going to use my knowledge. I've studied many tales, both legends and archives. There is no alchemy that could change the nature of a spellless soul. So now, you ain't only a drifter, but a scholar. Yes, I'm a fucking scholar! God damn it! You're not only a fisherman, you fucking a bellend as well, aren't you? If you're so smart, maybe get back to your pens and ink and leave the rest to me. I could look for a few people who have something to say about this. That's all I have to say. Fuck you. Go away. Sleep. I could do some labour. Sure. What am I doing anymore? What is my great plan? Alright, we'll do some labour. God damn it, cost me 3 food for this. The rains once again hit the ground, interrupting your sleep. Another day of muddy roads. Tremendous. After Fulvia blows out the candles without considering if you're ready for it, you're in complete darkness, and you only now realise how quiet this room is. The thick walls block the humming of the wind, birds, the river. The keeper heads to her own room, and you only occasionally hear the whispers or snores of other dwellers. My imagination sculpts terrifying creatures in the darkness, and it takes me a while before I can calm down. I grow anxious as I focus on my breath, then on the beating of my heart. I hold onto my dagger and focus on the touch of my blanket. Finally, some peace. That's the answer. The days are getting shorter. Right, you wake up surrounded by darkness. The keeper is sitting outside, next to the open door. The fishers are getting ready they are. Go ask someone where you can load the wagons, she says slowly, as if you're meant to repeat the exact words. You're freed from your duty after a few hours of work before you get a backache. You sit on a bench chatting for a bit with one of your companions. Some of the locals slow down to observe you, and when you meet their eyes, you find a few smiles. The pillars of smoke start to rise above the buildings. Many of the workers have already left the village. The remaining adults either outside carrying timber, food, or other wares, or in their workshops, the largest of which are open air. The sounds of work muffle the conversations, so you mostly hear the shouts of children and overseers. I go to Bathman. No. We're going on the open road again. Take me to the Beholder. I'm gonna fucking put the stone on there. My god, I can't even get to the pelt anymore. I approach the altar. I make an offering. What is it called? The Stone of Souls? Magic Stone? Spirit Rock. Spirits Rock. As soon as you lay it on the stone slab, the pebble hisses for less than a single breath, then shatters into dozens of tiny rocks, not much larger than grains of sand. The tree greets your offering with the sound of moving, stretching branches. Oh my god, is that all I can do right now? Oh, I forgot about the arrow! I was going to ask about the arrow. I wanted to ask about the arrow. Oh, I could put the bronze rods on it, maybe. Oh, cock. Journal updated swamp altar. Swamp altar. The tree can drain magical power from various items, which results in the destruction. Okay, that is not surprising. Take me back to Howler's Dell. I want to place a bronze rod in one of these watchtowers. I need to first ask the mayor for permission. Right. Mayor? Do you know Eurydice the Enchantress? I'd like to hang this rod on a watchtower for her. You let her weigh a rod in her hand. It's empty, she says. What is it for? It's meant to help her golems cover long distance without going crazy. It tracks rain and winds. She's trying to learn if the entire peninsula is the same weather as all times. I don't know, some sort of magic, I assume. This is going to bite me in the ass. It's about the golems. She gives you a look, then rolls a piece of bronze back to you. The answer is no. And if any of us find such a rod in our woods, you and I are going to have a talk. I have no desire to wake up in the middle of the night surrounded by a stone army. The only place bothered by raids is White Marshes. The people from Gale Rocks and Creeks have no issues. Chicks, elves, and raiders don't open palms, so there's no reason to worry. The people of White Marsh are no friends of ours, and if Gloucester is eager to bother with the poorest settlement in the north, especially one filled with Awoken, it must be personal for her. We have no reason to stand in the middle of it. She straightens up and adjusts her cape, then stares into your eyes. Her voice is solemn. As the mayor of Howler's Dell, I appreciate your concern, but I don't share your apprehension. The guard of our village will stay on our walls. Be sure to come see us soon. We would gladly share a lamb and tail with you. Very well, I'll pass it to him. She reaches for a pouch, and here's what I promised you. Good work, Andalono. Well, at least we're making money. You surely don't avoid hard conversations, do you? Most city folk feel hesitant when they meet pagans, she smirks. But the hand clenched around her deer buckle makes you alert. Are you that open to strangers, or did the United Church loosen its grasp? I'm interested in who would take their place. The guilds and artisans, the army. The United Church stands strong, and so do its laws. Hovland is still loyal to the Empress, even if she's not around. The Unites are matched by the New Order of Seekers, but nothing is set in stone yet. Soon after the war, the army had to take over and never let go of its power. Maritime trade keeps the city alive, the merchants took the lead, and honestly, I don't bother with politics. You know what? I don't bother with politics. Her eyes turn from keen to angry, and then again to tranquil, though her voice is tart. Are we done here? Right, thanks for your time. So, you won't let me put the rod up. I don't even have an option anymore. So have I failed the quest? Can I just not do that anymore? Man, this has been a rough time so far. I just can't get anything going. I'm forbidden to place a rod in Howler's Dell. I guess I can get some after placing 4, so I assume I can't place 8 anymore. I guess I should have lied, but... Then the missing hunters I have to prepare for. Oh, I tell you what I can do. Hang on a minute. Oh, the stall is closed. Oh, it is nighttime. Fair enough. I can buy an axe. That is one thing I can do. So that I'm at least not completely, you know, toothless anymore. The closed tunnel... Oh my god. Then I need magical stuff. I should have done the arrow. I'm dumb. Face the mayor of Howler's Den is willing to discuss trade and tax deals with Hover in exchange for helping her neighbours. I'll receive a letter with her offer. Fies wants me to spy for her. Right. Oh, it was you to see it. So I guess I need to go to Old Pagos again at some point. I need magic stuff. I have to deal with that. God damn you. I honestly might go back to this closed tunnel and just try and clear it out. And we have no idea where Asterion is exactly. We need to get to Glaucia. That's actually the thing I need to do. Let me sleep here. I'll rent a room. I hate to spend my money. We have 7 dragon bones. I need the food. The trader is not around. I sit at the table and wait for him. Ah, he would like the trollbone tablet. This. Nice work, and you've got the stylus. It'd make a nice gift it was to change the wax for a green one. Want me to leave it for 3 rings? Deal. And what is this? The golem rod. Oh. Wait, they're hollow. His enthusiasm dwindles. However, if it is fine work, we'd rather melt it. I'd give you 2 rings for 1. Okay, I was kind of hoping I could sell it to him, and that he would then put it somewhere, like, you know, in his home. Forget it for now. I might ask her about it again in the future. Nothing, we walk away. What about Elpis? Elpis, can I fucking help? Can you help me? Alright, thanks Elpis. You do absolutely nothing. Beyond? Alright, I forgot as well. What do you have for sale? The new battle axe. It's 15! I thought it was cheaper! God damn you. I think what I'm learning is that you can't do every quest. I don't know if it's... Well, maybe it's possible if you do everything perfectly. So I can only go this way and that way. They're the only 2 places I've not gone. At some point I do need to go this way because I think there's a gate guy and I think he might have the key for this watchtower. I'm gonna have to go back to the Pell to the north as well. I need to go to Old Pagos as well. Oh my god, I've got so much stuff I need to do. It really cheesed me off that I forgot to do that thing at Gel Rocks. Also, I need to go to these abandoned places probably at some point, but I would really like some, you know, assistance for that. Alright, I'll think about it and we'll worry about this in the next part. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, everything helps me out. And I'll see you on the next part. Goodbye.